Monday, you guys. So I am really excited for this. Normally I come on and I do my makeup, which I'm gonna be doing this week, but we're gonna be talking about perimenopause and menopause with my good friend Angela here in just a few minutes. If you are new to my account, my name is Lauren. I'm 43 years old. I love sharing all makeup tips and tricks that help with maturing skin, but I'm also 43, so I am navigating my 40s, I'm navigating perimenopause, and I love to share my journey with you guys. So, hello, say hi, tell me where you're from. If you are in perimenopause or menopause, and you don't know if you are, or maybe you know you are, this is gonna be a great kind of chat. If you have any questions, you can drop them here. My friend Angela is a menopause expert, but she's gonna be sharing her journey into menopause. I believe she had a hysterectomy early on, and so she's gonna be talking about that. And I thought it was such a good thing to share with my audience and with you guys, because a lot of us don't even know what to do, and we all have different kind of issues and things that lead us into perimenopause or menopause, and some of us don't even know we're in it. So like I said, I am from Idaho. I'm waiting for Angela to join us. And so if you guys have questions while I'm waiting, you can totally ask them. I see people from Italy. Oh my goodness. Italy, how fun. Illinois, you're done with menopause. Lucky you. Let's see. Michigan. Not sure if you're in perimenopause yet, but you've had a hysterectomy. So this will be really good, Laura, for you, because I can't share that part of my, that's not part of my journey. So I think it'll be really good. You might actually learn something really great here that might help you. Let's see, England. And then, okay, I think Angela's here. Just gave her, let's see, maybe not. Hopefully Angela, oh, try again. She's trying to get on. Like I said, I am no expert in perimenopause or menopause. I'm just going through it. And I feel like when I started on my journey, no one was talking about it. I felt so alone. I felt super depressed. I felt very anxious. And I didn't really know, I didn't even know like what to do, where to turn. I just thought it was something I had to live with. And I think that is, hold on just a minute. I think that's where a lot of women are at. And so that's why I like to bring this topic to awareness. Okay, I think Angela's trying to get on. I don't know if it's working or not. There she is. There you are. Hi, Angela. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm glad that worked. I was worried for a second there.
I know. Sorry. It's my fault.
You are good. So, you guys, this is my friend Angela. Angela, I am going to kind of just give a background a little bit, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself if that's cool.
Sure.
Okay,
absolutely.
so Angela and I met. This is like so funny. I meet so many amazing women on Instagram, and that's how we met. She jumped into my DMs. We actually bonded over makeup at the beginning and just kind of lifestyle, and then that turned into me starting my perimenopause journey and her kind of like jumping in my DMs and being like, girl, I've got you. I've got some advice for you. I am in menopause. She has been so great. And so anyways, we've chatted for a while now, kind of back and forth. She's given me some really great tips. And I love her story, which she's going to share today. But I had this idea. I was like, let's go live and share this with more of my followers, because I get a lot of DMs of women that have had hysterectomies, and it's put them straight into menopause. And I personally, that's not part of my journey, so I can't really speak to that. So I thought you would be a great person to share. So let's have you introduce yourself.
Okay. Thanks, Lauren. I was trying to think today. I'm like, how long have we known each other? Like a year and a half now. So I'm like, it's been a while. So I'm Angela Zerli. I currently live in Denver, Colorado, and it's a beautiful day here. I'm 53 years old. I have gone through all the stages of menopause. I am on the other side, and I'll tell you what, it's the best place to be. I'm a menopause specialist coach and a health coach, but I have a passion for women and just them just thriving in all areas of life. It's just who I am, and I love to help those individuals. So, funny thing is when I think about my story, Lauren, I go back to when I was little and I had my period when I was 12 years old. And the history behind it is I always had irregular periods, heavy periods, annoying as can be. And as that journey continued, I recognized that I actually had fibroids. I don't know if anybody's had them before, but I had them removed. And when I was 16 years old, and then I went on birth control, probably like every woman has tried it to like really level themselves out, which was crazy. And I don't think that even helped what I was trying to get through at that point in time. So right now, what I would have to say is that in my 20s is when I ventured into more of the irregular periods, heavy flows, a little bit more scarcity of knowing when I was going to get it. And then I had a lot of issues with getting them every other week. I mean, irregular, that's how
Wow.
bad they were. Yeah. And so I decided to try other forms of birth control, and they didn't work either. So I started going and visiting different doctors. I just didn't have one. And with that being said, I actually decided to get a oblation and a DNC because I knew I wasn't going to have kids.
Okay.
And I got my tubes tied, and nothing seemed to work. And I was just in a lot of pain and discomfort for a very long time.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 32 when that happened.
So
So
young.
young. It was very
Okay.
young. And at that point in time, I recognized my family history had
Mhm.
endometriosis. So all the women in my family, probably by the time they were 45, had had a partial or a full hysterectomy.
Wow.
So I know. So for me, it just came, I was blindsided by it. And I decided to try one more doctor after I went through an ultrasound and all these tests to see, like, I should not be having these problems anymore because I'm thinking it's fixed, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm ready, I'm going. So I walked into this doctor's office, and it was his last year, and he was actually a doctor, and he said, "I know exactly what you have." I said, "How would you know exactly what I have? You haven't even looked at me." He's like, "Well, from everything you told me, I think you have adenomyosis." I'm like, "Well, what is that?" So basically, what it is the lining behind your uterus wall is where this all begins, and you can't see it unless you get an MRI.
Oh,
So sure enough, I went and got an MRI. I was full blown into that, and that's when I had my partial hysterectomy at
wow.
the age of 37. So
Okay.
a lot of my symptoms started prior to that that were not even on my radar, and I've learned that a lot of women in their 30s don't even think they can go through it because it's too early. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. What were some of those symptoms? Like, let's
Yeah,
see if we can break this down.
sure. So, I mean, I don't get quiet, but I was quiet, irritable. I felt crazy. I literally felt crazy.
I totally relate to that so much. Like, you're losing yourself. You feel so crazy. Yes.
I was performing anger and rage to where I didn't even know who I was. It was that scary to me. So I'm like, this is nuts. I'm like, what is going on? And then I would just be doing things that weren't normally my character that I'm just like, I don't even understand what's happening here. I think for me, and the migraines started. I had more migraines than I ever did in my life. Um, the memory thing didn't happen till later, but it was more of those irritability, mood swings, just high amounts of stress at that time, which was the worst for me. So everything was exacerbated at
Okay.
that time. Yeah,
Okay. That's really helpful. I know a lot of women, when they reach out to me or even in my comment sections, that's one of the biggest things that they're really concerned about because I remember that too. It was like such an out of control feeling, but you don't even know how to fix it. You just like immediately just snap.
right.
And I know a lot of women are going through that. So I appreciate you sharing those symptoms. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So when I had gotten my partial hysterectomy and went through that phase, I was given depression medicine. And so I had no idea. I'm like, why am I taking depression medicine? So I took it for a while, and I'm like, I'm done. You know, for me back then, it was like, I'll take it for a week, and then nothing's happening. It wasn't until a year later that I just got worse. And I don't even know what worse means, except for the fact it was hot flushes, it was night sweats, it was forgetfulness, it was brain fog, it was for me, honestly, I never had the weight gain. I have an eating disorder background, so for me, it was body image. I have all that stuff. So for me, it was just everything else under the sun. I
Mhm.
still was very depressed, but didn't know it because I was so far into that.
Right.
My marriage was on the brink, which I actually ended up getting a divorce anyway from that marriage because I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel,
Right.
and just a lot of disastrous things were happening in my life and no answers. So 4 years after that, I decided to go see a functional medicine doctor.
Okay, hold on.
And
I'm
he,
gonna pause. I want to pause you there for just a minute, not to interrupt
sure,
you, but I just want to validate what you're saying for so many women because so many women I think are in the same situation as you were with their marriages, with not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, feeling like they don't know, do I have to live like this the rest of my life? And I think that's one of the biggest things that is the saddest thing to me because there's so many women that just don't know that there are answers.
right.
And it destroys so many marriages and things like that too. So I really appreciate this transparency. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, keep
no
going.
problem. No, I mean, and with that being said, I did a little bit of a study back then when I was going through it that there's 67% more divorces with women in their 40s to their 50s
Yeah,
because of the men not understanding, the
they
women not
don't
saying how
understand.
to explain it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
that's just one of those things. So I started going to see a functional medicine doctor, kind of like, you're seeing Dr. Warren, and he was a godsend. He did a ton of tests on me, genomic testing, DNA testing, just every kind of test under the sun. So that's when I got a baseline of what was going on and how to actually supplement my body with what I needed outside of just hormones, because that was apparent because I had a partial hysterectomy, because you start going downhill fast. And so it took me quite a long time to actually get back to normal. And I think the biggest thing that was suffering was my libido,
Mm-hmm.
which I was just like, wait, what's happening here? And you feel so abnormal, like you've got no sense of anything going on,
And no
at
one's
that point. So,
talking about it, so you feel even more alone, and you start going, "What's wrong with me?"
right,
Right?
right,
Which puts
right.
you into a deeper
It,
depression.
it does, right, exactly. At the guy that I was dating, a guy at the time that was happening, because a couple of years after, and I was just getting berated by him. He's like, I can't believe you. Like, I'm like, I don't need this. Like, but because I have enough problems right now of my own.
Right?
But I was just trying to get back to baseline. So once I did, and I got the flow of that, is when it was maybe like 4 years after. So I was playing catch up for a long time, which I had maybe a good 8 years underneath me to do that. And then I started seeing some naturopaths, and they helped me. And then I got pelleting, because I went through every kind of HRT that I could do, hormone
Mm-hmm.
replacement therapy, to get and feel normal. And I thought that was the only thing I had to do, but then I realized it wasn't.
There's a lot of other things, yes.
Right. So it was pretty much all about lifestyle stuff. For me, I'm very good about what I eat, nutrition, my workouts, being outdoors, a lot of that, understanding just boundaries and downtime, but I'm not good at rest and I wasn't good at slowing down. So I had a lot of work to do in that category, which truly helped me, because I was still running on high from my 20s.
And those cortisol levels are like up here, which doesn't help anything.
No,
That's really one of my biggest things too, is like people are like, you just got to lower your cortisol, but that is so hard to do. And so many women are like, I don't even know how to do that. But it really does make a huge difference if you can figure out how to lower your own cortisol levels.
well, it does, yes, and that has to do with a lot of stressors. So, no is a good answer for
It is.
anything.
Setting
Like,
those
no,
boundaries, it's hard to learn, but man, it changes your
it
life.
does change your life, absolutely. So once that is set and you prioritize things, then it's just easier, and you just got to maintain that level of stress down
Yes.
to help you through. Yes.
So what did you find when you started working with your functional medical doctor? What did you find, like besides HRT, what did you feel like, obviously lowering the cortisol levels, but what was something that you could tell our viewers if they're going through something like that, like something that helped you the most?
Out, Outside of the HRT
Mm-hmm.
was kind of, I mean, for me, it was supplementation, because I'm so good at that anyway. I would say the supplementation was a huge factor for me, but honestly, just learning, I mean, super simple foundational things in my life, that like the sleep and rest, because I mean, it's hard to admit that it's hard for me, right? Because I, I want to say I know how to rest, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And when somebody tells you have to do that, then that's an important thing I had to work on. So those things for me is when somebody's suggesting something to you that you don't already do, or it's not something that you've worked on, it's important, because you are just lowering everything in your body to kind of get even even kill, right, over time. But that's probably one of the things I would say. I would definitely say make sure you are working with a nutritionist or somebody in that fashion, because it's important to understand what your body needs as you're going through it as well, right? That's a very good thing. Those two things I think are the most helpful, at least for me, they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's great information. If you guys have any questions too while we are talking, please just drop them in the comment box. I'm trying to like watch as we're going, but I miss things too.
That's okay.
So,
Okay.
okay, here's another question for you. If you could go back and tell your younger self when you were going through all
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
and just kind of feeling alone and depressed, what was something I didn't prep you on any of these questions, so it
No, I
might take
know.
you a minute to think. It's like surprise. But what would be something you'd go back and tell yourself when you were going through all of these things?
So one of the things I definitely have learned that I wish and I would want women who have girls, you have a girl as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not familiar with the Dutch test, have you heard of it? You have
Mm-hmm.
heard of it. Okay.
Yes.
The
But
Dutch test,
explain it because some people might
okay,
not have.
fine. I have never had to take it because my blood was drawn differently. So, and saliva and pee and all that good stuff. But it's an actual test where you pee on sticks and then you actually send it in and you get everything read from your cortisol, your adrenals, your testosterone, your estrogen, your estradiol, you name it, progesterone, all the way down line, but how everything actually works together. And with that being said, I think you can start it as early as 14 years old.
Oh, I had
And
no clue. Okay.
I had no idea either. So I would say, I would tell my younger self to start testing early. And, hormones change all the time. So it's kind of hard, but you can catch things earlier in
Yeah.
life and you can be ahead of it. And then, of course, know your family history.
Yeah.
And I find more and more women of ethnicity and of culture that they don't talk about it. They don't talk. It's taboo. It's off.
Yeah.
It's off limits. You're ashamed for it, guilted for it, and nobody wants to hear it. Like la la la. You got to have an outlet. You have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody you trust.
I
Those are the things I wish.
I love that. I love that so much. And I would agree. And that's, I mean, honestly, when I started all of my body stuff going on and my hormones going crazy, we didn't really talk about it. My mom, she is so open with everything. She's actually the one that was like, you need to go to a doctor. But honestly, I feel like it's just a generational thing too. Like, I just don't think it's been talked about. I'm so happy that it's being so much more openly addressed, especially for my daughter. I know that I mean, she can spout off perimenopause facts like crazy because she listens to me all day, right? But I
Right.
want that. I want that awareness for women because, I mean, right here it says, hi, I need you both. I'm 44 and clueless what my body is going through. And I was there too. And I want everyone to know, like, you're not alone. Like, our bodies they change so much.
They
And
do.
if you're not 100% in tune with your body, which a lot of us aren't because we're busy, we're running around, we're doing all the things.
Right.
And you just think you're tired. You just think, oh, I'm doing everything. I'm just tired. This will pass. I'm going to ignore it. And then it just keeps getting worse. And
Right.
then you get worse.
Right.
And no woman should have to go through that, So
Right. And a lot of times, if you have to face it, you have to own it, and
you
then
do.
you have to do something about it. A lot of times, you have to be all in when you do it. And I would say that was the one thing when I made that decision to go to the functional medicine doctor, there was no turning back. It's kind of like when you start anything, you can't turn back because you're too aware
Mm-hmm.
and you want a different result and you want to be on the other side, no matter what it is, what you have to face. So go after it, make it happen, and then just hit it head on, because on the other side where I'm at 53 now, I feel 1,000 times better. I mean, there's things always that I'm working on, but for the most part, I've got it down. And that's the key, is to understand getting through those different phases, especially when I hear so many women struggling with their body image and things of that nature. Your beautiful bodies are meant to be strong inside and out, whatever that looks like. You just have to understand what it's doing, what it's saying, what it's feeling. And then when you do, then you pay attention, because we're taught to take care of everybody else, as we all know,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to take care of yourself. And when you do, when you know it, you can be that empowering woman for other people. That's the most rewarding thing
It
you
is. And
know
it's powerful. It's like it creates a chain reaction, I think, too. When you start helping other people, when you start sharing your story, when you start seeing yourself as a powerful person that has something to share with somebody else, it gives other people permission to do the same. And that's why I was so excited when you wanted to share your story with us, because I think we need more real women talking. We need more real women saying, like, listen, I've gone through this. And like you said, I'm on the other side. I feel amazing. And so I really want women to see, like, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I had someone say to me how depressing, my account is. I'm like, girlfriend, like, yes, there's real stuff that's happening. We need to be aware of that.
Yep.
But like, there's so many amazing stories and cases, myself included, that are of women feeling better, and there is light. And so we have to talk about it. Yes, does it stink? Yeah, it kind of stinks sometimes to get in touch with your body, because you kind of have to really face things.
Right.
And I think it's work, it's inner work too. And so,
right.
Anyway, I love that. Okay, another question for you. Which supplements did you find the most helpful for you? Because everybody's different.
Yeah, no, everybody's different. I think for me, I was tested. When I was tested, I was given specific supplements. So
me too.
I have more methylation issues, which is a way in which your body absorbs. So I had to take more methylated vitamins. And I took 20 to 30 when I was first starting out. Now I only really take, I was taking for quite a while, but I was so depleted and I didn't know I was depleted. So now I really am only taking D3. I take B12, B6. I don't even take a multi anymore. I eat really well. So a lot of things that I get is from what I eat, to be honest with you. So, and then that's pretty much it. I don't do a lot of supplementation for me now because I'm so at the other point of my life where I don't have to. So, yeah. So
did you have one supplement though that when you were going through menopause that you felt like really helped you?
I don't think I can't say that I did, to be honest with you, because my panel was very big.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since it's been almost 12, 13 years or something like that since I've gone through those. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't be more helpful with that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, but it just depends, because if women are going through more of the surgical aspect, they're going to need different things. That's why I say if you find somebody to get some paneling done, that's going to be like a true read for you. Like, I'm all for taking supplements, but I don't believe in, I'll try this, try this, try this, try this. It's like, your body is made of like different stations that you have to fill up. And as you're filling up the stations, your body only can utilize what you're giving it. And then you introduce more things, and then you titrate down or off of that. And then you amp up other things to keep it, with food or whatever you want to do. So it all depends on what your doctor, your physician says, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions for issues with sleeping? Someone wants to know.
Wow, I am such a light sleeper. It sucks, to be honest.
I am
too. I mean, there's so many. There's like the sheet thing, the fan thing. I mean, it depends on what you're asking. If sleeping is more because you're getting woken up because of hot flashes, or if you're getting woken up because you have too much on your mind. I mean, it depends. If that person asked specifically what they're looking for in the sleeping part.
That's all they said. I will say for me, magnesium was a game changer for me to take that at night.
Okay.
That was huge for me, because even with HRT, I still was like having night anxiety. My brain doesn't ever stop. And so that helped a ton, but also what helped a ton for me was shutting my phone off before bed. I was guilty of that, and doing a lot of journaling. So for like kind of just quieting my mind, anything that was on my mind, I'd write down before I went to bed. And then my magnesium just kind of kept me asleep. So
that's nice.
That worked for me.
That's good. I'm not a writer. I'm a verbal processor. So I would actually do a voice memo on before I go to sleep. And this is really weird to say, but I would say ever since menopause happened with me, and if there's anybody out there that can relate, until I actually call my mind to think of something, I'm completely blank. I don't have anything going on in my mind at any given time until I need to recall it. It's wild. I don't even know how to. I don't know if it's amazing or if it's.
I think it is, because my brain's like,
I know. So it's just like I shut off. So with sleeping, I mean, create your routine, do something for yourself, whether you're doing, it's like bath. Self-care is so many different things, but you've got the bath, you've got breath work, you've got yoga. I mean, so many women are going through so many different things, PCOS, the incontinence, stuff they have no idea. They may have prolapse of the uterus from having kids, and like all these variables that women have are extra things added on top of what you're already going through. So it's really understanding how you can take one thing at a time for what you're dealing with. And sleeping is necessary for, a lot of
of
reasons. So
healthy everything. I mean, the brain fog. I know for me, like my brain fog was horrible, and then once I started getting more sleep, like
yes,
everything just kind of fell into place. But the sleeping, I mean, I would wake up at like 3 in the morning and I would be up till, the rest of the night. I could not sleep. I did that for like months and it was horrible. Like I
right.
would never wish that on anybody, but I know a lot of women are dealing with that. And so I do think it's like creating that routine is so, so helpful. And like you said, just kind of add one thing in at a
Yep,
time. Don't just add like 10 things in because you
right.
won't know what's really working. I know for
No,
me, it's like jump all in, but
yes,
you really don't know what's
no,
working.
you don't. And you should definitely chart it.
Yeah,
Charting is a pain in the tush, but it really works
it
well.
does.
So you know, and you give it 30, 60, 90 days, and you're like, nope, nope, nope. And then you just move on from there. So with sleeping in general, I would just say create the routine. Is sleep, yeah, what about a sleep machine? If you are sensitive to every single noise because women are so sensitive to hearing kids or whatever, do a sleep machine. I think
Yeah,
that's always a good thing too.
that's a good
Yeah.
one too. Okay, someone asked, where'd it go? Anything specifically to help with very low mood and no energy?
Very, very low mood and no energy. Hmm.
I've got some ideas, but I want to hear yours.
Well, I mean, is it during the day? I would be curious to know if this is all the time or is it just in certain
No,
moments?
that's all I
Oh,
got.
mood and energy. Well, I would definitely look at what you're eating. Hydrating, of course, is a very key thing. If you're moving enough is another thing as well, because if you're not moving enough, it doesn't mean you have to be going to the gym, but any kind of movement is important to do. I would say that is the case. That's my initial thoughts on
I
that, just
love
from
that.
that question.
That was part of my response too. I think definitely your eating has so much of a big play into it. Like I know a lot of women aren't eating enough protein, and I do think that helps a lot with your brain fog and things like that and energy.
Right,
Um, I know, like for me, I do like peptides, and my functional medical doctor has given me them. But I always say check with your functional medical doctor before you obviously do any of that.
right,
I'm on one that's helped me a ton with my mood because I was really anxious, and this one is kind of like everything's been leveled out, and it's the best thing
right.
ever. But everyone's different, so I think it's a hard question to answer too.
It is, it is.
Um,
And scooting back just for a second to the sleep thing, progesterone is where you kind of come down. So if your progesterone levels are lower,
yeah,
then you will need something through the night, which will help you sleep. So, that's something to look into as well. But yeah.
that's a good point. We forgot that. That is really true.
Hmm.
Okay, couple more. My primary doctor told me she doesn't test hormone levels when I asked. I hear this all the time. She said peri and menopause are just part of the body, just like puberty. I know. I'm
Did
like,
you laugh?
oh. This
Okay.
makes
So,
me sad when women hear these kind of things.
when I went, yes, when I went to my first doctor, when I was going through stuff before I saw a functional medicine doctor, she was great, but she only tested at the basic level, and she was a general GP. And I'm like, there's more out there. I know there's more out there. And that's when I started doing research on my own, just finding a different way, talking to people, asking around for results that you want. Like, find somebody that you can ask who's got the connections to get you where you're going, so you get what you need and you are fully ready to go. I don't agree with that practitioner.
I always say that too. I'm like, listen, I mean, my functional medical doctor, he says it so well. He's always like, if you don't have someone who's listening to your symptoms first, you're not in the right place.
Right,
Because you've got to have someone who listens to you, which is why, we're preaching functional medical doctor, naturopath. They're going to listen to your symptoms. You know
yeah,
your body best. And if someone's
right.
just telling you, like, this is normal, you're just going to get through it, that's not true.
No.
So, second opinion. We both agree on that one. Second opinion.
Always, yes.
Okay, hold on. I got another one. This lady says, I just turned 46 and I'm in official menopause. I have not felt like myself in months, which makes me sad. No energy, body aches, every morning, and weight gain, looking into possibly doing HRT. I personally love HRT. It's been life changing. There's a lot of good research on it. Go ahead. What's your thought?
Yeah, so HRT was my last resort. Depends on what you, again, when you start to see a naturopath like I did, you will get a better read on how your body assimilates the type of HRT you want. Like, so I've done creams, I've done troches, uh, um, pellets. pellets are now. Treams and Croakies is what I've done most of, and they didn't work for me. I did not uptake them. I spiked too high and came down too low. So when I got the HRT pelleting, it took a while, but it was definitely a good mixture for
Yeah.
me to get. It took a while for me to get to feel somewhat balanced and normal with where I was at. So I had more sustained, and I like more of the release over time than taking something every single day because I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I just want to move on with my day. And then when I got tested and I saw my levels were good, is when I knew that it was working for me. So I would say to her, that is what I would look into is maybe starting off with what might you want to do initially first, because not a lot of people want to get their tushy all like cut up and
I
stuck in
know.
their
I did the
something.
pellets for a while. This is why it's such a good conversation because I did the pellets for a while, and for me, I didn't love them. I didn't think it worked for me.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of women it worked, and I'm on a compounding cream that has finally worked for me. But we've had to play with levels, so that's why working with that doctor so
That is
important to find what works for you.
amazing. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Do you think it's okay? Couple questions on HRT since we're here.
Yeah,
Okay, I can answer this question, but I want you to too. Can you
sure.
start HRT before your periods are actually over? My period is barely hanging on.
Yeah. No. I would say no.
Okay.
100. I mean, personally, I would say no, only because you have to go through that cycle first. But that is something that is a gut reaction for me. So you've started though. You
I
still,
am, and
that's
I still have
crazy.
my full period. So I think that is a personal decision, right? A
Right,
lot of women want to navigate it naturally, and I think that is
right,
great too.
right.
For me, I tried for, gosh, I don't even know how many months we tried. My functional medical doctor and I tried for me just to do supplements and things like that. And I was seeing nothing. So for me, it was like, let's just do this. And for me, it worked.
That's
So I think it's a personal
awesome.
decision for sure.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And someone did just ask, is it possible to kind of navigate all of this without HRT?
I would say, oh yeah, definitely. Now, if you're talking just like you're just going through it naturally, yes. If you have had surgery in any way, shape, or form, my gut reaction would be no on that because you would need help with that piece of it. So yes, there is a
Yeah,
way to go through it naturally.
I love that. Once again, though, get someone who's listening to you.
Totally.
With the pellet, are you on testosterone and estrogen?
Yes.
Someone wants to know.
Yes. Yes. And I think I saw in there about DIM. So yes, I do take DIM. DIM for me helps process. In my family, I had a lot of um, estrogen that built up. We produced too much estrogen, so it would help to filter that out. So DIM is definitely used
Yeah,
for me.
and I take that
Oh,
too. So I love that.
good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I don't know this one. I mean,
Okay.
I know a little bit, but maybe we have a better answer on this one. Please include info on itchy, crawly skin due to loss of estrogen and how to get rid of it.
Itchy crawly skin. Now this is interesting.
So it is a
I
sign of perimenopause. Like it's a pretty big one, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's that loss of estrogen. I mean, honestly, and so supplementation or HRT would be my answer with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I would think so too, but I mean, I've never experienced itchy crawly skin. I know it's a symptom, but something to say for that
Yeah,
is kind of one of those. If it is, finding out what your estrogen level is first, and then obviously
kind of
moving from that point.
going from there.
Yes,
Yeah, I haven't had it either, but I know a lot of women are going
right,
through that.
right.
And, okay, I think did we catch up with all the questions? Let's see.
Probably.
I think we did really good. Okay, I think I'm like still scrolling. Hold on.
I know.
If I missed anything, I apologize. We will post this. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comment section, and Angela and I will go and do our best to answer. Angela, where can they find you?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit more about that too.
Yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram at Menopause Maven, and my information is there on how to contact me. So you can find me there as
And I'll
well.
tag her in this too, so you can go over to her account. But Angela, thank you so much for
Thanks,
taking your time, for sharing
Lauren.
your personal story with all of us. I know that there are women watching today that they needed to hear your story, so I just really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. It was wonderful. Maybe sometime in the future we could do it again, and we'll
Love
take it
that.
menopause part two.
That's right. I mean, there is so much to talk about. We definitely could do that. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
you. Like
Thank
I said,
you.
you guys, go follow her. She is a wealth of information. And then also, if you do have questions later on after you watch this, please just put it in the comment section and we'll get right back to you.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Lauren.
Bye, guys. Have a
Have a
wonderful
good
day. Thank you, Angela.
day. Thank you,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.